Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and today we're going to be going through my top 10 favorite fragrances for the winter of 2016. Now, I love wearing fragrances in the winter because it's a really great opportunity for me to wear the fragrances that are more dark and resinous and rich and deep, and it just allows me to wear fragrances that I don't feel so comfortable wearing in the summer. So these are some of my favorite fragrances, but I also want to mention that the fragrances in this list are a little bit more personal to me. So I'm not really talking about the best fragrances of all time. Of course, all of our opinions are going to differ from one another's. These are just the fragrances that I have been wearing a lot, the ones that I'm looking forward to wearing a lot, the ones that I have been the most interested to wear in the winter of 2015 leading into 2016. So with that being said, let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's start it off with my number 10 fragrance. Now, my number 10 fragrance is a fragrance that was released last year in 2015. It's actually a flanker of a very popular fragrance that was released in the mid-90s. And this fragrance features a dominant pear note, but it also has vanilla, lavender, and a little bit of mint to make it a really seductive scent, but one with a gourmand touch that I really appreciate. And it's by Jean Paul Gaultier, and it's called Ultra Male. So, fantastic fragrance, very similar to the original, but it has its own twist on it, where it has a characteristic different smell about it, where if I had sprayed it on a scent strip and I let you smell it, you would definitely be able to tell which one is which. Fantastic scent, really great for a night out, great clubbing scent if that's your thing. Could definitely wear this to a party or maybe on a date or something like that. Fantastic scent, number 10 on my list. Number 9 on my list is a fragrance that's a little more sophisticated. So this one is a little more youthful, is definitely good for a night out, for a younger demographic. This one is for somebody who's a little bit more mature, but it has this tobacco peppery quality about it that conveys masculinity. It retains a sophisticated quality about it, but there's just this added touch of sweetness that makes it alluring and, dare I even say, sensual. It's by Bulgari, another flanker. This one is called Man in Black. The original Bulgari Man, it has a honey note. It also has a lot of pepper in it, but it's a very dry, sort of peppery, spicy scent. This one adds that sweetness and a resinous undertone. Fantastic. Number 9 on my scent, one of my favorites of all time, one of the best scents released in that year. Number 8 on my list is another fragrance that I bought rather recently. So you'll see there are a lot of new fragrances in this list. It just goes to show you that these are fragrances that I looked forward to trying out, and then I ended up falling in love with them. This one is by Carolina Herrera, and it's one of the newer releases, not the newest release. They've actually been doing really great this year in releasing a lot of new fragrances. This one was released late last year, and it goes by the name Privé. So CH for men, Privé. Now, this is similar to the original in the sense that there's this sugary overtone with some more subtle notes, like some woods in there that make it masculine, but this one is a little bit sweeter and it has a little bit more of a candied smell than the original. The original was leather and sugar, or some even say online sugar cane, and this one is a sweeter version of the original, if you can imagine that. Really great scent. I've actually reviewed this as well. Sometimes I have a hard time determining if I like the original or if I like this one, but nonetheless, fantastic scent, number 8 on my list. Number 7 on my list is what I think is the best fragrance that was released last year. Such a spectacular scent. It really goes without saying that this is one of the best fragrances that Tom Ford has ever put out, and even though it is a flanker, it could have been a standalone scent. I've done a review on it. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll leave a link down below. This is by Tom Ford, and it's called Noir Extreme. Such an amazing scent. Vanilla. It has a spicy quality as well. It actually smells a lot like vanilla ice cream with a little bit of spice. So if you can imagine that, what a fantastic scent. It's going to continue to be on my top 10 list because it is such a wonderful scent, and I've commemorated some great memories with it. Number 6 on my list is a scent that is no slouch in the community. A lot of people turn to this scent when they don't know what else to wear. It has an ambery quality about it, but also a little bit of tobacco, which makes it throws it in the mature realm, but not necessarily dated. It has enough sweetness to keep it contemporary, and this is almost like an ameliorated version of the original. In the original, a lot of people talked about how it lacked performance a little bit. This one sort of remedied that by increasing the concentration, and while it's not a beast mode fragrance, meaning it's not going to last 12 plus hours on your skin, the performance is improved somewhat. It's by Dolce & Gabbana, and it's called the One Pour Homme. This is the Eau de Parfum version. Amber, tobacco, sweet resins. Amazing, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Number 6 on my list. If you haven't smelled this one, please do yourself a favor. I think Sephora is now carrying it. Number 5 on my list is a favorite of mine. I actually tend to wear this more in the fall. I think I bought it in the fall. I think that's what it is. And now every time that fall comes around, I always go back to this scent. And I bought it when it first came out. Absolutely love it. I've been really conservative with it. With all this talk of it being reformulated, I don't want to run out of my bottle. This is by Viktor & Rolf, and it's called Spice Bomb. Beautiful tobacco, pink pepper, very similar to Bulgari Man in Black. This one is a little bit more youthful and more playful, kind of along the same lines as Ultramall by Jean Paul Gaultier. Fantastic fragrance, love it. It's a fall staple for me, but guess what? I wore it in the winter as well. Number 4 on my list is a new release, and it's one that I've been really excited to get my hands on. And then when I smelled it, I don't want to say I was disappointed, but it did bear a lot of similarities to some other fragrances that I have in my collection. But it is a unique scent. It's a flanker. It could have been a standalone scent. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's by Thierry Mugler, and it's Angel Men Pure Tonka. This is the newest release, part of the Pure series. It actually reminds me a lot of New Harlem by Bond Number 9. There it is. It also reminds me a lot of Michael Jordan Legend. It also reminds me a lot of Rojas Man. So it kind of has like this maple syrup, sweet, cookie, gourmand, immortelle sort of a feel, but at the end of the day it does dry down to that Angel Men DNA with the patchouli and the caramel and the vanilla that we all know and love. A beautiful, amazing scent. Number 3 on my list is one that I've had for a couple years now, and it's going to be a long time before this fragrance gets dethroned. Seems like every year I seem to mention this fragrance in my reviews. This is probably one of the most sensual and alluring fragrances in my collection. It's from the house of Christian Dior, and it's Dior Homme Intense. Now I know there's a parfum version, there's an eau version, there's this and that version. This is the one that really I've been digging every single year, year after year. Great deal of consistency, fantastic scent. It has this pear ambrette thing going on with iris. It has that lipstick note that I guess people say online women identify with so well. Fantastic scent, love wearing it, my wife loves it. Can't say enough about this scent. And now we're down to the top 2. These 2 are new acquisitions for me, one of which just came out last year. One of it came out a little bit earlier on, but I was kind of late to the party. The next one on my list, my number 2 scent, is such an improved version over the original. I mentioned this in my review. I'm going to leave a link down below. It's sophisticated, but it possesses a sweet quality with an added note of tonka bean, which is kind of what companies have been doing as of late. I think this is a clear indication of that. This one from the house of Giorgio Armani is called Armani Code Profumo. Now they did the same exact thing when they released Acqua di Gio Profumo, and a lot of people seem to be saying really positive things about that one. I got my nose on it. Not only is the bottle very sleek and creative, but it also smells amazing, and this one is such an improved version over the original. It's kind of what Armani Code Ultimate should have been, but they finally did it, and it's an improvement all around. Fantastic scent. Man, I've been wearing this one a lot, especially to work, but I also wear it on the weekends as well. Now, the next fragrance in this list is my number 1 fragrance, but I also think this fragrance is indicative of the fact, that this is a personal list. And these are fragrances that just cater to my personal taste, my individual needs. I love these scents. I don't think they're the best of the best, but maybe they might be, but it's just that I love them very much, and they're very dear to me. And this next fragrance I put as number 1 because I've been wearing it the most. I actually bought it when I was on my honeymoon. For those of you who don't know, I got married last November, and the day after I went on a cruise with my wife to a honeymoon, and I absolutely loved it. I had such a fun time, and I wore this fragrance almost every day. And now every time that I smell it, it can't help but remind me of those wonderful times that I had with my amazing wife. And this one I also wore on many, many weekends over the winter last year. And every time I wear it, it just reminds me of that wonderful time. And it's also, not to mention, a fantastic scent. That's important too. It's from the house of Guerlain, and this is called L'Homme Idéal. This is such an amazing scent, beautiful, spectacular. It has this powdery cocoa, gourmand, chocolate, almond thing going on, disparate notes, and they don't clash. They actually come together to form this very harmonious balance, and it seems as though they wouldn't get along, but the fusion is perfect. It's like yin and yang, right? It's such a beautiful contrast, and it works so well. It's seductive, it's sensual, it's alluring. It's this scent that it's unique. It doesn't really quite compare to any other scent. I think the closest comparison is Cocorico by Jean Paul Gaultier, but even that's a stretch because that one is this powerful fig leaf, herbal, sort of a powdery scent. This one is very understated, but it has this class and elegance, all the while being sensual and seductive because of those sweet gourmand notes. It's just, really, if you haven't gotten your nose on it, you really owe it to yourself. I know it's selling on FragranceNet for pretty cheap, and I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I mean, it's Guerlain at the end of the day, right? So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. These have been my top 10 favorite fragrances for the winter of 2015 leading into 2016. If you own or have tried any of these fragrances, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. I would love to read your comments and respond to them. And also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, top 10s, giveaways, unboxings, reviews, and a lot of other fragrance-related content. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.